cutting me, man. It's cutting me.
Oh, Jesus, Matt, there's a rat in here.
Where?
It's right there. Just...
Five.
Wait, Matt, no, don't do it, don't... Okay. Alright. I'm gonna keep my feet up. We watched a movie today.
Rodentz.
With the Z.
Yeah, like kind of like Leprechaun in the Hood. Something like that.
What was this movie about? Should I tell them?
More or less. Okay.
This movie had a professor doctor and unpaid intern, and they were working on lab rats. And they injected them with this thing called regenicin. And
I'm so surprised you remember that.
that's all that stuck. And they regenicin did some stuff. I don't know exactly what, but it's stuff. And then it also leaked down into the sink, and it got some rats that weren't lab rats. They drank it.
No, they were escaped lab rats, and they were feeding off of it.
Point being, they did this stuff. And then this group of college kids came to see unpaid intern at his work, but all these rats just started attacking them all, one by one, including Professor Doctor. And then there was this giant rat, the size of a human, who was also attacking them. He wasn't related to the group of other rats. He was his own thing. He was a different test subject.
Giant rat.
So, once the Umbrella Corporation... Wait, sorry, no.
No, the Umbrella Corporation, even they wouldn't do something this stupid.
And they ended up just one by one dying, like any other slasher film. And then they end up running from this giant rat, and another kid dies, and then the one unpaid intern and his girlfriend end up getting away. But then they find out some more of the goo regenicin stuff may have escaped and infected a spider! Sequel hook! Nothing fucking happened!
End.
End.
End review.
See ya.
No. But, no, I really don't have much to say about this movie, really, because it's...
Made back in 2001.
I seriously doubt it was made in 2001.
Released in 2001.
No, it was definitely released in 2001, obviously, but at the same time, I have a feeling that it was made in, like, 1999 or 2000. Because...
It had those...
So 90s.
Those good vibrations.
There's so much 90s in this. Not the good 90s stuff.
No. It was the late 90s where, like, Saved by the Bell was just wearing off.
Fuck Saved by the Bell. And fuck you for liking Saved by the Bell.
I don't like it. I never said I did. I just mentioned it. So let's talk about the characters. There was Screech, mentioning Saved by the Bell. There, as with your typical slasher film, you had the jock, you had the scholar, you had the whore, you had the third whore, the fucking whores everywhere. And the Virgin was in there. Who was the last one? The Jester. The Joker.
The Jester.
He didn't really... He words with the Virgin.
He was Denny.
He was Denny from the Room.
He was Denny from the Room.
You can't like him, and he was staring at two people almost getting it on.
And then he stared at one of them getting their face eaten out by a giant rat, and he did nothing.
Okay.
I'm going
to talk about that.
No.
He's staring at it.
No! It's like he was malfunctioning. It's just...
He was staring at, first off, the two people getting on. He's like... And then he went to go find a condom or something, and then giant rat came in. He's like...
Doesn't try to warn him. Doesn't try to move and do anything. And then the rat
starts moving forward, and he's like, Chelsea, look out!
Doesn't try to break the window.
Chelsea! Chelsea!
How dare you?
And then, as she's literally being eaten alive, he's trying to leave the window from he's looking from and just, Chelsea, someone, Chelsea, help! Someone! Chelsea! Help a Chelsea!
And he just walks around the room like that. He's like, oh no, oh my god, does not compute, does not compute.
It's obvious that the director told him you're not to go leave the room, you're supposed to stay here. But he couldn't figure out a single reason, motivation-wise, why his character would ever just stay there.
See, this is why collaboration is good, because the actor, you could tell the actor was conflicted. He's like, the character needs to go! But apparently the script doesn't call for it.
He had to stay in that room for the power to go out and then come back on immediately after.
Yeah, that was absolutely useless.
Yes.
If he was running down the hallway and whatnot, trying to get to her, then the power going out like that, that would have been better. It would have added tension.
What?
Tension to the scene.
What?
Alright, and to be... Alright, I want to
go ahead.
Situate myself something right here. When it comes down... And this is more than us just bitching about a movie. When it comes down to film language, just because it's economical to stay in one place doesn't mean it will help your movie.
Unless that is literally the point of your movie. It's like claustrophobia.
Unless it's written around that, it doesn't work. Because the thing is, though, it shows your limitations in bad ways. The fact that you have a limited budget or limited locations or whatever... that might actually happen to be the case, overall in the final product, especially when you reuse shots constantly, you just play them different directions.
That's one of our... You can find us bitching about that in many different
You
reviews.
really couldn't find frames of anything else to cut to? Like, really, you didn't have that much coverage.
Okay, I want to get to it later on technical aspects. But, we got something for you. One really quick, as long as we're still in characters and plot and whatever else, there's a moment later on. Maybe I misheard them, but me and Matt heard the same way. They're in an elevator. The rats are outside the elevator. Something, smoke alarm. And she says something along the lines of, but how are we supposed to start a fire? And then he says, no, there's something, batteries or another up in the thing. So then he goes and he does it, and then rats drop down from the ceiling, and what does she do? Well, she pulls out her lighter and is trying to fight them off with fire.
And the snakes were going.
So,
fire.
The little thingy, the little orange thing coming out of your magic box of light, that's fire, lady. You can use that on the smoke alarm. That's it. It works, crazy enough. It actually does. So. The other thing talking about it was there was the douchebag guy. Oh, we're jumping out of order and saying here because it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter if you know any of the people. It doesn't matter anything else. They're so interchangeable and stupid.
This is going to be a short review.
Professor Doctor's the only one that matters, and then he dies straight off.
There's no tension built with any of the characters because the characters... It's as if like the extraordinarily poor homeless man's That 70s Show cast kind of waltzed into this this movie about killer rats and just started dying, and that was it. I mean, the thing is, though, a lot of the characters, especially a lot of the characters, and even the classic horror films, where all of the the critics, basically just suck themselves off, just loving and all that jazz, and they'll say that they were among the first people who really did like it. And all that. No. Well, fuck it. There are still stupid, shallow characters in Halloween. There's stupid, shallow characters in The Nightmare on Elm Street and all that kind of stuff. You know why? Because they're the meat. They're supposed to die. But there's two things that you need in order to make this effective. A, you need to have them have either a likable to dislike personality, where you want them to die, or B, their death scene has to be gruesome enough to where you have to make the person care. This movie possesses neither of these traits. So thus you fail as a thriller, you fail as a drama, you fail as a movie when it comes down to not achieving this type of connectivity with the audience.
Every single one of the rats. Every single one of the deaths by rats, as long as it's not the super big rat, was essentially
cut.
But it was also achieved.
Like Any Given Sunday. It's awful.
It's essentially death by 1,000 paper cuts. It's just little rats.
The one effect that was good was when the girl had her face chewed out.
Really big rat was going after her, and he's like, ah.
That must have been one bite. It was like, ah.
And then he took out a big chunk of her face, and then the one guy that I actually was about to mention, the douchebag, he spent like 5 straight minutes in the glove box just going, no, looking for a condom.
She finally found one.
Finally found one. You would expect after 5 minutes that you just give up. It's not in there.
Or you would empty out the glove compartment.
Every single item.
So, oh, now I found it.
But no,
logic.
After 5 minutes of, hey, I grabbed one. How crazy.
Finally.
He walked back and he's like, babe, don't be asleep on me now. He walked back and he's like, babe, don't be asleep on me now. It's good. Oh my god, her face is gone.
And then roar.
Oh.
Insane roar.
Oh.
Insane roar.
Oh.
Insane roar. And this rodent had the exact same roar sound effect every time.
You repeat shots, you're gonna repeat sound effects too. And it's you've heard it before. You've heard this roar before. It's like your most stereotypical roar noise outside of like Godzilla or Jurassic Park's T-Rex.
I have nothing for this.
Alright, well, I'm gonna then get into the writing. How was the lines that they spoke? Tedious, boring. Yeah, let's sum it up. The one exception I think to the...
They were like pine.
Explain.
Very wooden.
Look at this guy. No.
The characters are very superficial. They're just there to die, but they're not there to die in any interesting way. You know exactly how they're going to die every time.
Yeah. Literally, the cat, the janitor, there was a janitor too, fuck it. The professor doctor, the jock number 3, and jock number 2 all died in the exact same way. Death by 1,000 paper cuts. It was only whore number 1 that died by giant rat.
I mean, yeah, I either way, I don't care about any of these characters. I told David the only thing that I wanted to have happen to justify any of this movie is that all of the characters needed to die.
Straight up like Cabin in the Woods. Everyone dies. There is
the world needs to be taken over by rats.
I would like that.
They have become the dominant species on the planet.
But if they did that, Matt...
You maniacs! Damn you! Damn you all to hell!
If they became the dominant species, then where would the spiders be in the sequel?
That's where they're fighting, is rats versus spiders.
I would totally watch that shit.
Just giant rats versus giant spiders.
And the lead in the movie is like a germaphobe who hates all the creepy crawly things. He's like, oh god, oh god.
Played by Stephen Baldwin.
Yep, let's make this. Internet, Kickstarter, now.
Let's do this. Let's raise this money and make this movie happen.
Yep.
And also
Baldwin's not doing anything.
And also have them as big as the Dragons and Dragon Wars and whatnot, but have them as that versatile too. So the tarantula is like extremely fast and it can like push buildings aside with its legs and shit.
I like it. It's
all right, we got
this movie.
The rat can turn into like a snake type of thing and whatnot and just go along the building.
No, it's just his tail that does that. His tail just wraps around the building.
And then just constricts it.
Exactly.
That's a cool image. Let's do this movie.
It's a great movie.
This is much better than the movie that we watched.
Alright, as for...
Probably need a lot better effects.
Oh, for sure.
Call Freddie Wong.
That's all we need. He can do better than any other film we've seen now so far. Alright, but
for the most part, yeah.
What I want to get into is a technical aspect now. I know we're running a bit short on this review, but we really have fucking nothing to talk about.
No smut.
No?
Very little smut.
Yes.
The smallest amount of smut possible.
Imagine I'm a woman. Okay, we're done now.
What a cock block, man. I mean, you don't get to a point where you let him undo the pants and say,
undo the pants.
No. I don't know. She's like, it's halfway down her knees, still going, and then after like about 30 seconds, okay, no.
That's all it was.
Dude, even if a guy did that to a girl, the girl would be pissed off. Like, what the fuck?
I'm saving myself for the third act.
Yes.
All right, but the one thing I really wanted to get to, not the smut, the dubbing. It's so bad.
The sound editing.
It's so bad. Here's how it worked. All right. Say I had a line, any given line, but darn it, we couldn't happen to get it on the shoot. So here's how the dialogue went. Matt, I saw them. They're gonna kill us. Cut to. Jeez, Matt, I think we should get away from all of this. Dear God!
More or less.
They just cut over to whoever wasn't talking at the point and then dubbed in the guy's line.
And actually, that happens when the people. There's just two people in the room and they're talking to each other. They'll just have the picture. They'll just have the straight shots of them just staring at each other while the other person is talking. And when they talk, it switches to the other person. So you'll just see people just staring at each other. Apparently, they're staring at each other. I doubt they're all in the same room.
Oh,
just like
I actually think they're in the same room. I'll give them that.
They're in the same room, just not together.
I just feel like the guy who was doing sound recording was just like, wait, hold on. You need to press record before every shot? Ugh.
Sorry.
Oh.
But even then, I mean, like, the dubbing's so weird. The sound effects. There's 3 editors on this movie.
I think one of them would get it right.
Cool. How many bad editors does it take to make a good editor?
Is this one of those philosophical things?
Nah, it's just a trick question.
Oh.
None. I mean, you can't. Like, the thing is, at the same time, some of this, is also the footage. It's also what you have to work with. It's also what the director says.
If somebody doesn't get you enough B-roll footage and they say, make it an hour and a half, because it is exactly an hour and a half.
Including credit time.
Then you're going to have to, like, reuse some shots and cut to other stuff and just make pretty stupid moves if you don't have enough footage. So it's partially on the cinematographer / director's fault. But at the same time, editors, you really couldn't find anything better to cut to, anything better to extend. Really? Yeah.
I mean, I've just, this is just, it goes beyond just a stock standard movie because there was no payoff. It's masturbation without ejaculation.
The worst kind.
It's just dry and whatnot. There's no, when it comes down to standard horror films, there's standard horror fare that you come to expect. And you know what? Yeah, that just means, that basically counteracts a lot of the time what I say about how...
Don't stick to the norm.
Not just stick to the norm, just don't believe that there needs to be a standard in which a formula in a horror film needs to be able to work. But the thing is, though, if you follow the formula, you can rarely ever fail. It might be a stock standard horror film, but you'll have all the elements to draw people into the movie.
You'll at least get a C+.
It'll be a standard movie. This movie is subpar.
It has all your basics of a slasher / monster movie.
And the giant rattler's ridiculous.
Oh, it does. It's just a dude in a rat suit.
It's a paper-mache rat
To
face.
be fair, they did know well enough not to give it, like, screen time.
Yeah.
They did know never to give it, like, a full-body shot and always keep it as, like...
Except for one shot.
Except for one shot, and then it looks stupid in that shot.
It looked like a guy in a suit.
They were smart enough not to do that. Good for them. At the same time, you had these... Majority of the deaths are these swarms of rats. Why do you need the giant one? To kill off one person.
Because it's a dragon that needs to be slain.
Exactly. It's like, it's what is it? Fucking Smog or whatever. You never...
It's Smog.
Yeah. You never see Smog kill anyone unless you're watching the first movie, in which case he kills all his dwarves. And the other way, you never see the dragon straight up kill any of the men or whatever, but the men are still living in fear of him. You have to go ahead and kill Smog. You can't just kill the little orcs and stuff. No! Smog! That metaphor kind of fell apart in the end, but...
So,
So
in conclusion...
Oh, are we there already?
With me.
Okay.
You can continue on if you want to, but I am tapped out.
It's going to be at like 20 minutes exactly.
But the thing is, though, the final words with me is with this movie is that it had a faulty premise to begin with. I mean, it's kind of like that movie Black Sheep, where it's about killer sheep. But overall, I can just say that this movie, you can skip it, you can watch it, nothing really changes the fact that it exists. And at the same time, that, you know, whenever you watch it, you won't get your time back, but it's equivalent of watching any of the other one of these bad movies that we watch for the show. Mm-hmm. So, it's no better, no worse than most of the stuff that we've already come before it. So, and it's going to fade from my memory very easily.
Oh, very easily.
So, that's interesting. It's just a forgettable standard or subpar standard fare. David.
All right. My thoughts on it. As I was saying, it was a horror monster film and a slasher film. But it fell apart in one thing, that being, I didn't fucking care. I didn't fucking care about the characters. I didn't fucking care about the monster. I didn't care about how he came to be. I didn't care about how he left. I didn't care about what they were doing, why they were doing it, how they were going to do it. I didn't care. Nothing in this film made me care about a single thing they were doing. And yet they still continued to do it. Waste of your time? Probably. If you have Netflix and this is the last movie you could possibly watch on it before your Netflix runs out, House of Cards Season 2. Just right there. Do that. It's been out for a while.
A lot of stuff's on there.
Yeah.
Borgias are on there with Jeremy Irons. Go watch it.
Yeah. You have so many better options. There's no reason to watch this. Unless you... I've said it before and I'll say it again. The only reason to watch this is, God, this movie sucks. You know, there's better things we can do with the time.
Like what?
Monopoly.
I bet.
Yeah, so don't particularly like... it's not a good film horror-wise. It's not a good film monster film-wise. It's not even a good film mouse-wise or rat-wise. I'd want to see a better film involving rats. That's what I'm saying. Okay.
All the bad boys want some more.